After nearly 6 years of work as a stellar surveyor for the Imperial Cartography Center, Usuni Kolo had never taken as much as a sick day. By 2941, his supervisor hadn't suggested that Kolo take a vacation, she mandated it. Faced with 3 weeks of nothing to do, Kolo knew there was only one place he wanted to go. Fascinated by the outsiders, he travelled to Maya in the Lear system to see firsthand how isolationism had affected the planet and its people. Unfortunately for Kolo, his attempts to talk his way past the Traveller Zone to get the real experience got him expelled from the planet. Still faced with a couple weeks of enforced downtime, Kolo took his time returning home to the Elysium system. And as a member of an ICC Stellar Surveyor team, he was in the habit of scanning for jump points even when off duty. So, on the 11th of the 3rd, 2941, when his scanners hit an anomaly that looked like a new jump point leaving the Lear system, Usuni Kolo was professional rather than surprised. What would ultimately surprise him would be what lay on the other side. He'd learn that he hadn't discovered this system at all, only rediscovered it. Kolo took a number of initial scans of what became known as the Kabal system, which Kolo named in honour of the famous 27th century musical group. The scans found an F-type main sequence star, 3 planets, and an asteroid cluster. Upon returning to UEE space, he immediately reported the discovery and logged a special request that his ICC unit be assigned to scan and explore the system he discovered. The UEE granted Kolo's petition, and he returned to the system with the rest of his team shortly thereafter. Their initial assessment of the system was overwhelmingly positive. Kabal 2 and Kabal 3 were located within the habitable zone, and Kabal 3's oxygen-based atmosphere meant it had the potential to be a turnkey planet. Excitement swelled among government officials, since finding a naturally habitable world would provide incredible benefits and resources without the expense of terraforming. Kolo and the rest of his team were immediately deployed to take more detailed scans of Kabal 3. The ICC's standard protocol is to keep the initial assessment of systems confidential until further evaluations have been made and details verified. Yet somehow Kabal's assessment leaked. News about the existence of a planet that might be immediately habitable caused a media sensation. Critics of Imperator Costigan were suspicious. They claimed the leak was a calculated move on the part of his administration. Only weeks prior, the Historical Truth Act of 2941 declassified a trove of documents, many of which were from the Messer era and revealed many of the propaganda techniques Messer's government used to manipulate the public. Although this was hardly a new revelation, and obviously none of the released documents directly related to Costigan's administration, columnists and critics drew tenuous comparisons between the tactics previously used and actions of the current administration, which had been mired in a series of embarrassing gaffes. The leak of Kabal's initial assessment was seen by some as a way to get the populace to focus on the UEE's future instead of the past. Once the confidential report leaked, the ICC decided to embrace the buzz being generated. Usuni Kolo was even scheduled to tell his incredible discovery story to Beck Russum for an Empire Report exclusive. The event was hyped across the spectrum for days, then abruptly cancelled. When no official explanation was given for the interview getting canned, rumours started to swirl. After the official assessment of the Kabal system was delayed, also for unspecified reasons, the Senate Subcommittee of the Interior decided to get involved. In October of 2941, Rebecca Alves, chair of the ICC, was summoned before the Senate Subcommittee of the Interior to discuss her stewardship of the agency. Senators focused their inquiries on Kabal 3 and wondered why the system's official report was late. Alves dodged most questions, claiming she couldn't discuss specifics until the official report was released. When pressed, Alves became more evasive. This drew ire from senators, who openly wondered who was really running the ICC if its director couldn't provide a timeline. Alves's appearance before the Senate subcommittee was considered a disaster. It re-energized the debate over Kabal and reinforced the claim that the Imperator was really controlling the release of information. Faced with mounting public pressure, the ICC finally published their official assessment of the Kabal system in early November of 2941. Suddenly, it became obvious why there was so much secrecy surrounding the system. The report revealed that ancient, abandoned Tavaran cities, believed to predate the First Tavaran War, were discovered on Kabal 3. So even though the planet was human habitable, no settlement would be established for the foreseeable future. Following the release of this report, the UAE government classified the entire system off limits to the public to maintain the integrity of this important archaeological site. It has remained restricted ever since. Kabal 1 is a small, lumpy protoplanet that sits so close to the system's sun that it only takes 34 standard days to complete its orbit. The ICC's initial report on Kabal 2 drew comparison to Mars. It's a terrestrial desert planet situated smack dab in the middle of the habitable zone, making it an ideal terraforming candidate. Yet the Tavaran never mastered terraforming technology, so it remained uninhabited while the system was under their control. Kabal 3 was the system's clear gem when it was rediscovered. Yet the hope of the UAE establishing settlements on the planet was quickly squashed after abandoned Tavaran cities were uncovered, turning the planet into an archaeological site. Beneath a thick layer of native plant life that had reclaimed the cities, this Tavaran world was stuck in time. Buildings and houses were filled with various common goods. Ships sat quietly on landing pads. The sacred codices of Rajora still hung in the temples. All this evidence suggested that the population either left quickly or planned to come back. Either way, Kabal 3 opened a window into a culture that had tried to erase itself from the purge after the Second Tavaran War. The UAE military invited Asperia, the noted ship replica manufacturer, to visit the planet to catalogue and appraise the ships that were found. After comparing them with the few remaining historical records, Asperia estimated that the planet was abandoned prior to the First Tavaran War. Despite providing a treasure trove of historical information on the Tavaran, these cities raised more questions than answers. One in particular remained elusive. Why did the Tavaran leave? Many still wonder how an entire system could have been forgotten by the Tavaran. Most believe the confluence of calamitous events over 2 centuries, the First and Second Tavaran Wars followed by the Purge, erased the system's existence from the Tavaran cultural consciousness. Others insist its existence was a closely guarded secret among Tavaran radicals. Acutely aware of how little they know, UAE researchers have taken a cautious approach with the system. Despite repeated requests from the Tavaran Cultural Preservation Society and the Tavaran advocacy group Nariva Ale, the UAE has maintained a tightly restricted access to the planet. Since Kabal can only be accessed through the unclaimed Lear system, some have tried to camp out and stalk government convoys to discover the exact coordinates of the jump point. UAE ships have been known to engage suspicious ships in the Lear system that are deemed a threat to the confidentiality of the jump point's location. So, if a government sends you a warning comm, obey their orders or suffer the consequences.
I love NordVPN. I use NordVPN. I get money when you guys buy NordVPN. So use the links below, check out NordVPN, see if it's something that you actually want to get. nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. If you get it, I get money. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For June, we are giving away an Freelancer Miss and Pulse combo. That comes with lifetime insurance as well as a game package. All you need to play Star Citizen. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during June. More details about that in the description below. If you would like to further support our channel, please like, subscribe, comment, share these videos. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, and I would love you to, please consider becoming a Patreon or clicking that join button under my videos. It goes a huge way in allowing us to make daily content and keep the channel going. You'll get some exclusive content from that as well. Anytime Zin and I can actually put it out, as well as help evolve the channel with polls and suggestions and that sort of stuff. Thank you so much for watching to the end and have a great May. It's going to be a good one.